Good day, everybody. We are live here. I'm just checking that everything is going live to YouTube. So just bear with us for a second. Yep, I've got the notification. And we are live.
Perfect.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Blind Tech Guys. I'm actually introducing the podcast today. My name is Marco Corralejo, sitting here in a very wet Melbourne town today. Nimbin's having a few issues with his internet and he'll hopefully be in fairly shortly. We're just trying to sort those out, but instead of delaying the broadcast, we thought we'd go live in any case because we had people waiting to tune in. Of course, as always, or for the second time I should say, welcoming into the studio here, Kurt.
Hello.
Welcome back, my friend.
How's it going, Marco?
I'm very well. Oh, geez, you're sounding a lot clearer this week. What happened? Did you have a microphone change or something?
Yeah, I bought myself a new little dynamic podcasting mic, a Samson, and it's working a lot better.
No, you're sounding fantastic there, mate. So welcome as always to the studio, and we've got a reasonably big show today. Coming up, we're going to talk about a few news articles that we found for this podcast. There's quite a bit of stuff out there in terms of the Samsung stuff and a little bit of Motorola news and other news that we've got as well. Nimbin's going to talk about the state of Braille on iOS and Android and things that we'd like to see changed and updated in due course, and that's always an interesting discussion, especially when you get Nimmer and I started up about the state of Braille on Android. And I think Kurt, you're probably
100% with you.
Yeah, I was going to say I think you might be with us on that one somehow. Kurt, you're going to talk about getting a talkback onto a Samsung device, and this is something that's going to be close to my heart as well, because I'm looking at buying that new Samsung, and if I'm stuck with that Samsung talkback, I might just be throwing it out the window.
Yeah, well, listen carefully, Marco.
Yeah, thank you very much, mate. That's going to be an education for me as well. In the Did You Know section, we're going to talk about widgets and how powerful they are, and actually it's something that I know that Kurt and I were talking about during the week, and Nimmer as well, about getting widgets on your Android phone and how they can be very useful, especially, for example, if you're wanting to do a recording. You don't necessarily have to open up a recording app. You can just use a widget and it works very nicely. So we'll talk about that in our Did You Know section. And, of course, the listener emails. And I know that judging by a couple of the emails that I saw during the week, Kurt, we could have some very interesting ones there later on in the show.
Do we have any more $1 million cash offers, Marco?
Well, that's what there could be. There might be. We just never know. We just have to wait until that listener email section comes along.
Oh, boy.
Indeed. Now, guys, if you do find value in the podcast, we ask you to check out blindtechguys.com, of course, as always. And on there is a little donation section. We would definitely appreciate you clicking on that if you find value in the podcast, whatever value you find. If you would like to donate, that would be muchly appreciated. Of course, all our podcast episodes go up on there. We have a lot of links in terms of our groups, our Facebook pages, our Twitter feed. We're on Telegram and WhatsApp, so we're everywhere pretty much, Kurt, and everything can be found on the blindtechguys.com webpage.
It's all there, easy to navigate.
Indeed. Now, I better have a look, because I'm not always very good at looking at comments. And I'll see... Oh, Thomas Chan says, Kurt, you sound sexy today. Wow.
Flattered.
Well, actually, he didn't say sexy, but he says you sound so much better, so that's a good start. I just changed it slightly, you know, as I do. And that's pretty much it. So, Thomas, thank you for tuning in, mate, and hope things are good in your part of the world. I think it's, trying to work out what time it'd be over there, probably about 10:30 in the morning, I'd imagine, somewhere around there. So nice and early on a Monday morning. Now, Kurt,
Yes.
Let's go. And before we go into the news, wishing everyone a happy new year, of course. I should have probably done that at the beginning of the show. Did you get up to much shenanigans over New Year's Eve, Kurt?
I had a fun night. Fun New Year.
On your own or with a...
No, I was with people.
Oh, good. Very good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, how was yours?
Oh, mine was all right. Alicia and myself, we actually had a fairly quietish evening, so it was quite good. Had a few drinks and just took it pretty quietly this year. So, which is unusual for me. Usually, my New Year's Eve end up being very painful the next day, but this year's was a bit quieter than usual. So
yeah, I'm a little surprised. You're growing up, Marco.
Yeah, finally I got there. But a happy New Year to everyone. Obviously, this year we hope will be a far better New Year than, last year was. I think, as anyone would say, we found our behinds at 2020, and we move into 2021. So let's hope for a much better year. So, what's new in the news? Our first article takes us into Samsung land here, Kurt, where we talk about the Samsung S21. Now, Samsung has announced that we will be having a launch party, so to speak, on the 14th.
Oh.
So that's when this baby's coming out, apparently.
We haven't known that for a while or anything.
So they're actually calling it Welcome to the Everyday Epic. Apparently. Don't ask me why they're calling it that, but apparently that's what the...
yeah, they have interesting names.
They always do. So this one's coming out on January 14th. It's going to be a pretty nice phone from the sounds of it. I know I'm certainly very excited about the X60 modem, which will be very, very cool. I'm sure, as per usual, the Galaxies will have nice 5G coverage. Now, they're bringing out a trio of phones. It looks like that rumour from last month is true. S21. So, in North America, they're going to have the Qualcomm Snapdragon 888. And in Europe, the Exynos 2100. So, it looks like the European one this year is going to be pretty nice. It's a very nice phone.
Yeah, they're about on the same level now, or...
Looks like it. Well, they're going to have, let's see, they're going to have the latest version of Android UAI on Android 11, which Kurt loves. And they're going to have they're going to have a few enhanced features on there. Let's see. Oh, apparently they're also unveiling a pair of TrueBuds earbuds, which will be the wireless version, I assume.
I'm excited to see what those are like. I had the Buds Plus, and they were good. They just got wet, and that was that.
Oh, okay, so they didn't handle the water too well?
No, just a little drop. And
oh, wow, okay. Well, apparently the Galaxy Bud Pros, I think they're going to call them, are going to have silicone tips, so that'll be nice. So they'll be in-ears, if you like that. Looks like they're going to be quite expensive, but they don't tell you the price here. They're also unveiling a Bluetooth tracker.
Oh, that's interesting.
Called the Galaxy Smart Tag. Now, I've heard a little bit about this. So that'll probably have something to do with the watches as well. Potentially other software and hardware launches, but they're not being very specific. There's not a huge amount of rumours coming out, except for the phones, essentially, and we all know about that, so we probably don't need to really go too much into that. But yeah, it looks like there'll definitely be the phones and the earbuds, which is pretty normal.
So pretty much the S20s with a better modem and a little better processor, right? Yeah,
pretty much. And if anything's to go by from last year, you probably want to wait for the fan edition to come out later on, unless you really, really want that S21, because that'll probably save you a few dollars. I know that certainly upset quite a few people.
It upset me.
Yeah. Especially when you're essentially pretty much getting the same thing for $400 less.
with a smaller battery.
With a smaller battery.
On the bigger, on the more expensive one.
Yeah, that was a bit crazy. Now, the second article that we have for you today looks like Motorola is launching budget phones again for this year. affordable flagship and 5G El Cheapo phones. So I'm just having a look here if we can. This is a very painful article.
Yeah, don't you love that?
Alright. So 2 new devices launching from Motorola this quarter. Now, there was a previously rumoured budget flagship phone, which is codenamed Neo.
Ooh. We're
So
watching
apparently
The Matrix.
that's... Yeah, well, obviously they have. So that's apparently coming out this quarter. They're going to have a refresh rate of 90 hertz. So they're not up to the 120, but I guess if you're getting a budget flagship, that's not too bad. They reckon it's going to have 5G, reasonable cameras, so the usual sort of Motorola stuff. The only main thing with the Motorola's is always they just don't update, but you know.
Yeah, but they're built well for
They're
what
built
they
well.
are.
Yeah, they're a nice enough phone. So I think if you're into, you know, Motorola stuff, definitely look out for that to come out in the next couple of months.
Did it say anything about the price on that budget flagship there, Marco?
Let's have a look. Apparently it's going to also support 2 SIM cards, so that'll be kind of cool. It's going to run Android 11. It's going to have a 5,000 milliamp battery, apparently. And nope, there's no price on here. The other one that they're looking at launching is an entry-level phone, which is internally known as the Motorola Ibiza. Whatever that means. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty much it on the Motorola side of things. Now let's see if we've got any comments. Looks like we've somehow lost Kurt, so it looks like I'm on my own. This is working out beautifully today, ladies and gents. So hello to Tech Explorers, and hello to Wei Yi, I think it is. Welcome to the show. So we seem to have lost Kurt, and we seem to have lost Nimmer. So I'm on my own at the moment. This is fantastic. It's working out beautifully. Now, Nimmer's added an article here regarding police scanning apps. So the 5 best police scanning apps on the Android side of the pond. Let's have a look here. I wonder if my app's on here. So the 5 listed here are Broadcastify, Police Scanner, Police Scanner X, Scanner 911, and Scanner Radio. Now I think the one that I'm using is just the Police Scanner one. I think that was a paid one from memory. I'll have to have a look at some of these. Broadcastify is apparently their #1 app in terms of the police scanning side of things. So let's have a look here. Broadcastify is free, and it's $15 every 6 months apparently. I'll just try to add you to the stream, Kurt. Why isn't it letting me do it? Sorry about this, listeners. This is not very good today, is it? We're just trying to get Kurt into the stream, but it's not letting me add you. What the hell's going on here? No, Kurt's disappeared again. All right, so Broadcastify is $15 every 6 months. So what makes this app so good? Yeah, pretty typical sort of app. You get up to 180 days of streams being saved on their servers. It's apparently one of the newer ones. Allows you to search easily. Boasts over 6,000 police, EMS, fire, blah, blah, blah. So it's got a lot. I'm sure that it'll pretty much be the same as any other reasonable scanning app like one that I've got. They're all pretty much of a muchness, but it's something different that I don't think we've ever really touched on this podcast. So there's a article on that one in the show notes as well. Now, 12-year-old girl is sued on TikTok. Let's have a look at this one. So I'll open this up. Now, 12-year-old girl sues TikTok over use or breach of her data. Looks like she's from Britain. Apparently, London girl who's 12 is taking TikTok to court. They're claiming that European Union's strict data protection rules were violated by the app, and a judge has granted that this go ahead. All right, Kurt, welcome back, mate.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can.
Wow, hello.
Don't know what happened there, but you died.
I died and then I came back to life, yeah.
Yay. So I'm not sure if you heard that last article that we're talking about there. So a 12-year-old girl sued TikTok, or is in the process of suing TikTok because of the violation of her rights due to European protection laws.
Oh.
She's worried about facing online bullying, which is why she wants her data to be private. Now, why you'd be using TikTok in the first place if you wanted your data to be private is beyond me. But
there may be
whatever.
Worse than Facebook there.
Well, it's quite possible. I certainly wouldn't be using it, but anyway. The judge has given her the right to go forward with her case, essentially. So basically, she's now on the path to potentially suing TikTok. He's allowed her to proceed with the case. Because in Europe, of course, their data protection laws are ridiculously full on, that's for sure. So I guess she's sort of taking advantage of that and pushing forward with her case. So I guess it'll be interesting to see what happens there with her.
Yeah, is that in an EU court, or is it one of the member country courts?
Well, it's in London. The initial case was
okay.
in London, so I guess that's part of the EU court at this point in time. I would assume. I'm not a lawyer. I'd have to ask our lawyers about that one, Kurt. I personally don't 100% know, but who would know? All right. Just a reminder, of course, listeners, that if you're enjoying the content and if you like what we do on a weekly basis, we would love it if you would share our content out to anyone that you find or you feel would be interested in hearing it. Easy enough to do that. Of course, you can subscribe to our podcast. You can like our videos that we put out on YouTube. And obviously, if you subscribe, make sure you play around with that little bell, that little notification thing, so that you know when the next stream will be coming out. Now, it looks like Nema hasn't made it back, which is great. So, this may be a rather shortened show.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just could be a very shortened show. So, Kurt, what we might do is we might go into your demonstration of ADB, if you've got that ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, I'm just turning on typing echo here on my...
Now, let me just work out, because I haven't done this before.
Okay, there we go.
Just bear with us, listeners. I don't usually do this sharing. I don't use StreamYard. right. I just got to work out how we do this.
StreamYard. Visit the link StreamYard logo. Full screen layout. Only the share screen. Remove from screen. Select out. Mute button. More options button. Remove from screen. Full screen. Then new screen. More options button. Remove from screen. Select out. Mute button. More options button. Cut. Mute microphone button. Cut. Mute microphone and stop sharing. Invite text button. Stop sharing screen button.
Can you hear my jaws?
I can.
Okay, so that's me that I'm sharing. So I don't want to do me. I want to do you. How do I allow you to share?
Can I? Because I'm technically a guest.
No, you can. I'm sorry about this, listeners. I just don't do this sort of the StreamYard stuff.
Well, I predict a lot of audio editing before we publish this.
Yeah, there might be quite a bit of it. I can do share stream. What if I click?
I'm in the show. Cool.
I don't know how I get how I can share your. I don't know how Nima does it. I'm logged in as the host, but I don't know how.
What's this edit audio avatar thing?
Can you share it on your end? Is there a share button on your end?
No, I see edit audio avatar. I'm opened up the more options. Let's. Let's see. Do I click on me? Oh, I have share screen.
Yeah, there you go. That's what we want you to click on.
There we go.
And then make sure you check the box for audio.
All right.
StreamYard dash button.
Okay, well, we can hear it.
You can hear.
And I'm just going to have to mute myself so that we don't get any echo. Just bear with me for a sec.
All right. Okay. All right, everybody. So, as many of you are aware, Samsung just released a new software update, which made a lot of things better, but definitely made accessibility worse. If you've been listening to the show at all, you will know, over the last couple episodes, you will know how we all feel about the Samsung TalkBack. And as bad as it is, lack of Braille screen input, really decreased tap sensitivity, not the same screen gestures as the Google TalkBack, which, could be good, could be bad, I guess. Perhaps the worst thing about it is there's no way to turn it off in the accessibility settings and turn on Google TalkBack. if you go under the installed services where TalkBack normally is, you will find everything but TalkBack. So what we're going to do is I have Samsung TalkBack. I reinstalled it on my phone here just for this, because I would like to show everybody how to take it off. Now, the way you take it off was actually my introduction to a really powerful capability in Android that I had no idea about really before I was trying to find a way to get my Braille keyboard back. And that is called the Android Developer Bridge, or ADB. And what that is it is a setup which lets you plug your phone into your computer, and if everything's set up the right way beforehand, you can type commands in a terminal on your computer to change many more settings on your phone than you can through the software, the menus on your phone. So in order to set it up on your end, and I will put this all in the show notes and link to tutorials that walk through this whole process, but you need to turn on something called developer options. And this is one of my favorite things about Android, actually. It is a somewhat hidden mode which turns on all sorts of cool, interesting features. Now, the way you get to that is you go into your settings, go to the very bottom to where it says About Phone, and under the About Phone, you'll see a build number. And if you have a screen reader on, you've got to double tap that build number 7 times. If you're not using a screen reader, you just tap it 7 times. And that will unlock all of these developer options. There's way too many to get into here. I only know what a few of them do, honestly. But that gives you a lot more customization over your phone. And one of the things it lets you do is what's called Enable USB Debugging. So you need to turn that on your phone under the developer options. And then you need to download the ADB Android Developer Bridge Software Development Kit from the internet, and I'll link to that in the show notes as well so that you can go and grab it if a Google search isn't enough to help you find it there. And what you do is it'll download a massive zip file onto your computer. I have good computer, good internet. It still took, it was a several hundred megabyte zip file, it seemed like. But you extract that into a folder you just call ADB. And just for simplicity's sake here, I put mine in my C drive.
This PC window, tree view, level 1 is PC expanded 2 of 3, devices and drives grouping expanded, devices and drive, Galaxy S20, devices and drives left paren, 3 right paren, expanded. Galaxy, Windows-SSD left paren, C:(right paren.
Alright, so here's my C drive.
Windows-SSD left, BIOS check 2 of 10, drivers check, GOG games, A. ADB check 1 of 10.
And ADB.
Items view list, platform-tools not selected, not checked 1 of 1.
Now you have to go inside of this folder that is labeled platform-tools, because that is where all of the ADB programs are here.
Items view list, API not selected.
And what I'm going to do here, there's 2 ways you can do it. You can either go over to the address of the file here in the File Explorer app and erase it all and type CMD. I think the easier way is to go through what's called Windows PowerShell. It seems a little more streamlined. And what that does is it opens up a text terminal for you to type commands, press enter, and receive output back. So I don't know if anyone here has ever familiar with old MS-DOS computers or a lot of Linux setups, or I would even compare it to like interactive fiction games or MUDs, if anyone's played those, where you have to type in the text to, you know, go north or open door or whatever, and then press enter, and then it does it. It's a little more complex here, but same idea. So I'm going to go ahead and open this Windows PowerShell, and my phone is connected to my computer here.
Context menu. View submenu V. Group. Refresh. Customize. Paste. Paste. Open PowerShell window here. S.
Open PowerShell window here. I'm going to press enter on that.
C:\Windows \system 32 \Windows PowerShell \v1.0 PowerShell.exe terminal blank. Warning: PowerShell detected that you might be using a screen reader and has disabled PS red line for compatibility purpose.
Now, I have no idea what the hell it's talking about right now.
Module PS read line. PSC:
but I just don't worry about it.
Tools greater.
Okay, so now the one quirky thing with this PowerShell is you have to start your commands with a /\, at least until you open up the ADB here. So the first step is I'm going to need my computer to check if there's any Android devices connected through the bridge. So I type .adb, or whoa, sorry, /\adb
space
devices.
List of devices attached. RFCN 60474KD device. PSC:\adb platform tools greater.
Okay, so that said the serial number of my phone. Now I get to open what's called the ADB shell. And this is where now the computer knows that the phone's connected, it knows what the phone is. This is where it actually opens up where I can control things on the phone. So I am going to type here /\adb space shell. And honestly, this sounds a lot more complicated than it is. I just found all these things in from a tutorial, and the first time I did this, I literally was just copying and pasting in. So you don't have to be a programmer to make this work. I'm not. So I open the ADB shell.
X1Q:$.
And that's some sort of a code, like a unique device ID or something. I don't... All I know is when it says that, those letters and numbers and gibberish there, that is where I can type so I have Samsung TalkBack here, and I want to uninstall it. So what I'm going to do is type PM,
space,
which means package manager, then uninstall, then I do a space, and then a -K.
K, space.
And honestly, the first time I did this, I was following along with the Braille display to make sure I was typing everything right. But if you do not have that, copying and pasting from the tutorials and then just changing the insert app here to the actual app name is sufficient as well. Now, the last main thing you have to do is you have to find what's called the package name of the app. And that's kind of like how on Windows on Windows computers, everything has a .exe. And to actually find the file that executes the application, you got to go in and find the exe file. You know, if you're actually looking for it in the list of your folders, as opposed to just like launching from the desktop or whatever. So this package manager is the same thing. So you have to know the exact name of the app's package name, they call it. And I used an app called App Inspector, which, once my good talkback is back, I could even show how that works. But that's a pretty straightforward list of all your apps. You can search it. So I just went into that app and typed talkback, and it gave me the Google and the Samsung. And so from there, I learned what the Samsung one was and wrote it down.
Space, K, dash space L L T F I N U space
So
M B
so
E N
PM
space U N I N S T A L
uninstall.
L
That's
space
package manager uninstall. Then I have to do a -K, which just means because this phone isn't rooted, it can't actually clear all of the, it's not really going to delete the app. It's just going to uninstall it for your user account here. So it doesn't take it off the phone. It just means that you won't be able to access it anymore. So
space L
So
L
uninstall
dash
-K. Then I do
space
then two
dash.
dashes. Then I have to type user 0 because I guess that's how it registers just the default main account. So everyone's going to be user 0 on your phone, I guess, unless you've really fiddled with these and changed it.
USER space
User 0.
Zero. Space
And again, I'm going to write down exactly what these commands are. If you don't want to mess with ADB at all, but just want TalkBack off, you can just copy and paste it into the thing and then make it work from there.
space 0
Okay.
0 space
I'm missing my Braille display right now, if you can't tell. So this Samsung TalkBack, its whole file name is com dot Samsung dot Android dot accessibility dot TalkBack. Now let's see if I did this right or if I screwed up something from memory. If I screwed it up from memory, I have the tutorial up.
Success X1Q:/$.
Oh, cool. So, now I wish it gave you more feedback here, but did say success. So now let me...
Browse by touch has been suspended.
Oh, wait. Okay. So I have commentary open on my phone right now. Let me see what happens if I open TalkBack up.
Media volume 100. 8:55 p.m. T-Mobile selected. Telegram. Telegram.
Oh.
Secret chat. Mark. Received docs. Telegram. Open search button. Group Nimer Chamber. Received group. BTG podcast group. Received at 7:06 p.m. Nimer Chamber. Group. BTG podcast group. Received go back button. Record voice message button. Attach media button. Go back button. Telegram. Secret chat. Mark. Received docs.
And it looks like
Dated Nimer Chamber. Received at 7 group. BTG podcast group. Group. Gigolo screen reader. Archive chat.
I will
Group,
send a
group.
message to
Nimer
the
Chamber.
Blind Tech
Received
Guys
group.
Telegram
Dated
group
_
here.
Joy Valentina. Channel. You have joined group. Nimer Chamber. Receive group. BTG podcast group. Gigolo screen reader. Archive chat.
Oh, where'd it
Group,
go?
group.
Weird.
BTG pod Nimer Chamber. Receive group. Dated former smart with Joy Valentina. Group.
Okay.
Nimer Chamber. Received at
All
7:17
right.
PM. Hello everyone. The latest record voice
I'll
message
send
button.
it to
Attach media
Nimmer
button.
here.
Message text box.
All right, Kurt, I've got you
Oh.
here.
Oh,
There
hey.
we go.
Turn on TalkBack to use Braille keyboard. When TalkBack is on, you turn on accessibility settings button. Accessibility. Navigate up accessibility search button.
Oh, did
All
it
right,
not work right?
Visibility and
So that came through. That was all great. Thank you very much, Kurt, for...
About accessibility. Installed service advanced setting. Installed services 19 services.
All right, and there we go. Installed services, TalkBack's on.
Excellent stuff. Thank you, Kurt, for that.
Off. Switch access off. TalkBack off.
TalkBack on.
TalkBack. Navigate up TalkBack.
All right, Kurt, I'm just going to mute you whilst you're playing around there. But no, thank you very much for that, my friend. We will definitely link to that in the show notes. Of course, as we've had issues with Nimmer's internet, and I'm actually not able to get him at the moment, so there must be some sort of issue going on his end in terms of his internet. We will have to cut the show pretty short there. But whilst we are doing that, what I will announce is that we will have a midweek bonus episode which will incorporate other parts of today's show that we weren't able to get to. As always, we do appreciate having you listen each and every week, and this has certainly been a different broadcast today with all the internet issues, hasn't it, Kurt?
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been...
It's definitely been different, that's for sure.
Think on your feet, Marco.
Oh, we have to, mate. We have to. Nimmer, we hope that you can get your internet sorted out. I'm sure you will by the midweek episode, but we'll definitely do a midweek episode, and it will likely be Wednesday evening US time, so Thursday afternoon Australian time. As always, you can find out more about us by going to blindtechguys.com. There are links there where you can definitely subscribe. blindtechguys.com/subscribe. If you click on that link, you will be able to listen to the show in your preferred podcast player. Of course, we would appreciate it if you like the video on YouTube so it gets out to more people. Share the video if you've enjoyed it. Of course, anyone that you think might be interested in listening to the broadcast, make sure that you get it out to them so they have an opportunity to listen to the show at their convenience. Of course, we have Facebook, Twitter, and Telegram, and WhatsApp links that you can join and be a part of the conversation. And we also now have a Facebook group, which you can find under facebook.com/groups/blindtechguys. In any case, thank you for tuning in this week, Kurt. I'll let you say your goodbyes, and we'll catch you during the week.
Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
And bon voyage, everyone. We'll catch you soon. Okay, we are still live. I'm just going to do so that I can fix up things when we do the podcast version, so it isn't so untidy. I'm just going to quickly do what we do a quick take of what we talked about today. So just pop you on mute for a sec, Kurt, and I'll just do that real quick, and then we'll go off the live stream.
Okay.
So, listeners, on today's show, because of Nimmer's internet issues, we've had to cut things a little short, but as I think would be more than appropriate, we'll definitely come back midweek and do a bonus episode just to cover off a few of the other things that we had in mind to do today. So on today's show, we will be talking about a few articles in the news that will be of interest, especially to Samsung and Motorola users. We also will have Kurt doing a demonstration of an app called ADB and how to remove Samsung's version of TalkBack off your Samsung device, especially if you've downloaded OS 11, and putting the proper, well, I guess you call it the proper version of the Google TalkBack on there. So that will make your life a heck of a lot easier for the next couple of months, that's for sure. So that'll be a very interesting demonstration. And unfortunately, at that point, we will cut this show fairly short. We did obviously have quite a few other things planned for today, but unfortunately those demonstrations will have to hold off, and we will have a bonus midweek episode coming up with the show. So fairly short show this week, but a very interesting one in any case.